Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. We are in the building. I'm your host, the enlightened and excited Eddie V. So glad to be back with you guys. Joining me, of course, is Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
Hello, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm here, Ed. It's been a crazy weekend, but it's Memorial Day weekend. We kind of gave everybody this episode off, but then we decided we probably shouldn't miss an episode. So here we are.
Yes,
it's fine. It's okay.
Speaking of having a crazy week, so my manager, store manager, got COVID somehow. So that put me as like the store manager while she's gone, because the other shift lead, has to attend to her daughter in case anything happens. So I literally got my schedule switched and pretty much had to run the store on top of running someone else's store Saturday. So we don't know. Well, another thing, that store manager also is going to another store, like getting transferred. So we're getting a new store manager. So, but we don't know who the person is just yet. So we will see who it is. But right now, I think she'll be back tomorrow. But for now, I kind of been in charge of the store. So I've been having to making decisions and stuff like that. And just like,
Ed's making decisions, everybody. Look out.
So, people were some people were trying to speak into existence that I get my own store. That I become the store manager. And I was just like, I'm not ready for that yet. I mean, I could be ready. I'm like, I would need to get a little bit more training, get used to doing things. But I'm like, I think if I do most of like the office and like managerial, administration stuff that a store manager does, if I get used to that, then I will know the flow of it. But yeah, it's been a wild week and not too wild of a weekend. It was just very going to another store. This is my second store within a week, I should say, that I had to work at. But yeah, it's kind of just been interesting how things are moving, and June is just going to be a whirlwind of craziness. Let's just say.
Well, it's fine. It's all fine. We're here.
Yes,
we're here doing Pow Block, our Monday night ritual. It's fine. Ed.
Yes.
How is everything else going? Just making sure you're all right, Ed. You sound tired. You sound like you sound like you should have probably taken a nap at some point today. And
actually, I did take it.
I
take a nap. Sometimes when you wake up from a good nap, you still feel groggy and like, what's going on? Kind of feeling like that, but I'm actually excited. Got my energy, going. Trying to stay cool because it was hot today. Surprisingly, I'm like, ooh, this it's a hot time today. But other than that, I've been good. I've been, just focusing those things at work, making sure that things are right, so that when my store manager comes back, I would have, she see that I made an effort to do what needed to be done at work. And other than that, yeah, I'm good. Got to actually start playing Xbox today in a weird way. And the reason why I said that, because I haven't been playing my Series X for a while because of focusing on a lot of stuff with Nintendo. Getting some games and stuff done, which I'll talk about in playing with Power and everything. And since I missed last episode, I still had some thoughts about some games that I picked up for the Switch, that I completed. Uh, but yeah, other than that, I've been good. I know for Dogma we're gonna have I think a serious conversation because I think it's worth having. Um, but other than that, I've been really good. Really, really excited. Looking forward to vacation in August and September. I should say, trust
Nice.
me.
Nice. Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say now. Well, Ed, since we're here, since we are here recording this episode on this very warm May evening, we have some patrons to shout out.
Yes.
So, remember, all of our content is free. But if you head over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork, you can support us and our friends for just $1 a month, and you get Nintendo Pow Block Expansion Pass, the Boss Rush Podcast 1 week early, as well as After Dark and Standard Definition 2 weeks early. That includes a series that Ed and I are doing, Ranking Nintendo, where we rank all of Nintendo's consoles, and it's a good time. I think the Game Boy episode just released on free feeds today.
Yes.
So go check that out. We need to get another one of those on the books. We need to make sure Stephanie is available because she joined us on the Game Boy one, and I feel like everybody likes it when she's on something. So we need to get her back on for Super Nintendo and then Nintendo 64 and so on and so forth. So,
yes.
But at the $5 level, Ed, you become a Patreon producer. What does that mean, Ed? It means you get your name shouted out on this here program. So, without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode are Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, and my wife, Sana Dirrig. So, I want to thank all of our patrons. I want to thank all of our free listeners as well. Ed and I have been doing this show in particular for a very long time, and
Yes.
It's because of the amount of people who listen to the show that we keep going and enjoy doing what we're doing. And so just thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Well, everybody, we're going to get into Snacktendo. And this one might be a little bit short because, Corey, I had a toasted cheddar chalupa from Taco Bell.
What?
Yeah, so it's the shell that they use, the breading that they use for the chalupa.
I'm well aware of what a chalupa is. I didn't get this size by not understanding what a chalupa is.
Well, I know that, but I'm describing how it's designed and stuff, with the cheddar being on the outside and it being a little crunchy. It was fine. It was good. I thought I would get more of a nice cheddar taste because sometimes cheddar is really strong when I eat it, and this one didn't taste strong for some reason. I'm like, that's weird. I taste the cheese that they use, but I thought the cheddar would be a little bit strong. It wasn't bad or anything. It was good. I think I need to try that with chicken, in a sense, because I did it with just their regular meat, if you want to call it that.
Right.
But yeah, I had some triple fudge chocolate Oreos, which were good. I had flaming hot lemon Cheetos, which was really good, and dill pickle Lay's, which was also good. And I don't know if I talked about this, but I've been drinking Smart Water. And they kind of got this berry flavor. It's a different kind of Smart Water than their regular flavor ones. And it's so good. I had to buy 2 bottles because it's nice and cold in our freezer at work. Because if I get 1 bottle, I'm going to drink most of it in one gulp. Because it's so good. Smooth aftertaste, just refreshing. And I know a lot of people have been wondering Ed, do you drink water and stuff? And I really don't like water as like that. But uh, tasting that
Ed's not
Smart Water.
human, guys. Remember, Ed has the ironclad stomach of like a garbage disposal.
No.
And I'm just kidding, Ed. I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, the Smart Water was really good. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that I've been stacking on. I just seen that there is a banana caramel Cheerios, so I'm probably gonna go to Target tomorrow and pick some up. Hopefully, they got some and give that one a try, cause that sounds so good. I love banana and I love caramel, and that just seems like the great combination for Cheerios. Of course, I still love my Honey Nut Cheerios. Like no one's gonna take that away at all.
Hmm. Okay. That's an interesting.
Oh, I did have, and I'm going to get yelled at this.
I'm sure. When are you not getting yelled at?
I had, so Friday I had, we got a place called Quonset's, and they do thin crust pizza. Some of the best it's like a home restaurant, friendly restaurant kind of own store. Um, and it was kind of packed because some of the older folks were going into the bar. But I got their, got like a small, and got their cheese, sausage, and mushroom pizza. Really, really good. And then Saturday, there's a place called Rosati's that they had the deep dish pizza, and I only got just like sausage on it. And they had the pizza topping, the tomato topping on top of it with cheese with and stuff. And I got a small on there, and it was really good too. I couldn't leave the store or anything, so I was just like, let me just get this deep dish pizza. And it was good. So that's what I've been. That was my weekend of snacking. Nice. Of course, it's sushi.
Nice. Well, Ed, I finally went back to Casa del Rio this weekend.
Yes.
Had my giant burrito. I didn't send a picture to you, but I don't care. It was the most perfect burrito I've ever had in my life. So I I devoured that. Let me tell you, man, I love the chorizo chicken, which is like this kind of like spicier chicken. Mm-hmm. I got the grilled onions and jalapenos. I got the Mexican rice, and I got black beans, and I got extra cheese and extra habanero salsa.
Hot.
I loved it. It's so good. So for a long time, I thought my favorite food, Ed, was pizza.
Yeah.
For so long. And somewhere in the last couple of years, it's transitioned to burritos, like a good burrito. And I gotta tell you, man, I could have eaten like 4 of these things, and
yeah,
I mean, I've shown you how big they are.
Oh yeah,
and like I'm full after one, but like after I eat it, I want more, and I would like stuff myself full with 1 or 2 more at least afterwards. Oh man, they're so good.
So can I ask you a question?
No.
How do you deal with the spiciness?
What do you mean?
Because it seems that you are a person who can handle spicy food.
I like spicy. I love spicy food. I love I mean, there's a limit for sure, right? Like, yes, when you go to wing places and you have to sign a waiver to eat these special wings, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I like a good kick to my spice or to my food, and it's just something I like to do. I just like a good spicy food.
Because it seems like your stomach is able to handle it. Like, and it looks like you probably won't get watery eyes or your mouth running with snot or anything. Or you need to, because I need to drink a lot of water or something when I eat spicy food, because I can't handle spicy food.
I mean, a lot of people do, but let me tell you, the thing to drink with spicy food is not water, it's milk. And I know that sounds weird and it sounds really gross, but that's what you're supposed to drink is milk. Because it like isolates the oils from the spice. In water, like it'll mix with the water and make it worse, actually.
You know what? I always thought pop would do that. Pop is just like pop. Do not drink pop when you're eating spicy food.
Oh my gosh, dude, pop is what makes it so much better.
But it makes it so hot. It's like the acid of the pop.
I'm aware. It just it's so good though.
See, you're able to handle spicy food, and I can't. I can't do it. But I will. I love a good burrito. Trust me. Our plans is to go there. If I need to get you 2 of them, I will get you 2 of them, and I will get one that's mild. That is, do they do like chicken burritos or the same thing?
I mean, what do you mean chicken? Like, I mean, you don't have to get spicy. You can make it as mild as you want. It's just I like to add the spicy stuff. They have like grilled chicken and shredded chicken. The shredded chicken is actually really good because it's cooked with green peppers and onions.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's if you don't want something spicy, that's actually really good too. But I gotta have spice, so I will find one. Sometimes I get habanero and Diablo salsa, but well, Diablo is like their medium, and habaneros they're hot. So I just asked for extra habanero this time, and it was delicious.
I have Domino's does the mango habanero chicken ones, which I get. I do enjoy that one because it's just like I think the mango, the sweetness of it kind of handles. I mean, it's still spicy, but it's not that spicy or anything. And so I didn't know if they also offer that because I think habanero kind of has become like popular, maybe last 2 years or something for a while. Because I have a lot of people talk about that habanero.
I mean, it's like I really don't know. I just like it because it's hot. I don't really. I'm not like in the food scene. You know, I'm not like checking out the latest. You know, but it's fine. It's falling apart back there.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
You all right there, Ed? You all right?
Yeah.
You good?
I'm good. I had to grab my book bag for something.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else? I kind of want to check out some ice cream stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean, we did the typical Memorial Day stuff where we had hamburgers and hot dogs and sausages and stuff, but other than that, I didn't. We had a really terrible meal from BJ's Steakhouse.
Oh no!
This place is supposed to be like fancy and expensive and whatever. I mean, not like fancy, but like it's like on
upper
a level.
class.
It's on a level where like their salads are like $16 and $17.
Ooh, the lies!
And their pizzas are like $30 to $40. So I mean, you know what I mean. So it's like that kind of level of whatever. Dude, it was seriously. My wife and I both agreed it was seriously like one of the worst meals we've ever had. Like,
was that your first time there?
Yeah, it's the first and only time there. Well, we got a gift card there, and we were like, well, it's expensive, but whatever. We ended up like not even finishing our dinner and just cooking something else.
Oh wow!
Which, by the way, good soft pretzel with cheese. I could eat that all day.
I know. I heard you talking about it on last episode, and I was just like, yeah.
Because that's what we had instead. We ended up throwing some of those in the oven, and man, they're so good. They're so good.
When Stephanie said like Annie's, I'm like, yeah. I try to get a pretzel without the salt on them, but sometimes I can't. Or I'll do the soft pretzel nuggets when I go to the train station, like leaving Chicago, coming home. I'll probably get that. But yeah, you're right. A good soft pretzel, dude. It's just it really hits the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, I'm just like, hold on, wait. I'm like, do they sell those in grocery stores?
Mm-hmm.
Like the soft
They're in the
ones?
freezer. They're in the freezer aisle. And then Like, sometimes they come with cheese, not recommended. I'd go down the salsa and cheese aisle and pick out whatever kind of cheese. I like the queso
Mm-hmm.
blanco with my pretzels. Also,
Tostitos.
yeah, well, I mean, whatever, yeah. I
Oh,
also
yeah.
recommend a good beer cheese if you can find one, although sometimes that's kind of expensive, so just like,
If if I'm in Wisconsin, grocery stores, they have them mostly there with the beer cheese.
yeah.
For it.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, I guess. Nothing else really to report on the food side, but I did I did go to the doctor, and this weekend I kind of just treated it as like a last hurrah kind of thing, because
Mm-hmm.
I do need to lose a lot of weight, and you can we talked a little bit about it on After Dark, which is coming out in a week or two, I think. So uh, if you want to hear me rant about that, but I was just kind of using this weekend as like a last hurrah, and like starting tomorrow I'm gonna like like, I mean, I've been dieting a little bit, but then there's been like, those days that you just can't avoid food, and then obviously like a weekend is like a holiday weekend. There's going to be all kinds of crappy food around. So
Yeah.
uh that's kind of it. I got something weird on my face. Why isn't that coming off? That's weird.
Oh no.
Oh, uh-huh. It's a white hair. Great.
Uh,
uh so I've got a little bit of a plan to like exercise a little bit and eat better, but Ed, my knee is really hurting. I have a sleeve on it right now to support it, and
uh-huh.
like the only time it doesn't hurt is when I'm standing up and walking around. That's like the only time it doesn't hurt, but it does give out a little bit sometimes, and like I can't put any pressure on it to get up or whatever. It's just a
Uh-huh.
really strange feeling. But
Does it feel
Ed,
like that? Does
oh
it feel like sometimes when you walk in, like you kind of dip because it
yeah, a little
gives
bit,
out for a bit?
a little bit. But Ed, speaking of that, Galatrad has inspired me, and I wish he was here to let me tell him, but I told him we weren't recording an episode on Monday night, so but I did get Ring Fit,
Hey.
so that my journey with that begins tomorrow. He has inspired me, and I see him posting stuff like how much, how many calories he's burned, whatever, and I'm gonna start kind of exercising in the morning before work, and I'm gonna do what Galatrad does and see if it works, because he says he feels better mentally and physically, and
Mhm.
I have not felt that great in that category recently. So
Uh, uh, Wes, um, from oh goodness,
console
what is
gaming
this?
crew.
Yeah, Constant Gamer Crew. He was streaming his weight journey with Ring Fit and
Yeah, I
everything.
saw that.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm
not.
proud of him.
I'm not gonna go that far.
I know.
It's a cool idea. I'm not gonna go that far, but I like what Wes is doing as well. So
Yeah,
console
there
gaming
was
crew, go check them out.
yes.
Good good guys over there at console
Um,
crew.
yes. There are some. Before we move on, like when We Fit, now is it We Fit? Yeah, when We Fit came out, some people were doing that game as like, well, I'm gonna spend 3 months with this game, and see what the results are. And people were committed to see if We Fit was working. And to some people, they lost a lot of weight. They changed their eating habits. They did some extra. They did extra exercise outside of We Fit, but they was committed to the game. And they showed their 90-day progress. So I believe in you, Court Boss. I believe that you're gonna do great on this journey. I already know that you could text me and just be like, Ed, I just finished my my first journey or my first day with We Fit. I mean, with Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna document it. It'll probably be like a Twitter and Instagram thing
mhm.
to document it. I'm not gonna and maybe I'll do a little like once we kind of get through a couple things in episode 300. I might have a little segment on this show to kind of say how I'm going through and doing. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to do it. and we'll see what happens, I guess.
It's so surprising that that game is still selling and doing numbers.
It's sold like 15 million units or something crazy.
Well, definitely during the pandemic, it's so just like out of control.
Yeah. No, it's insane. So, yeah, I'm excited to try it and do all the things and figure it out.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Yes. Well, everybody, it's time for Family News. Corey, take it away.
Is it that time already? Oh, geez.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a couple stories here. The first story comes from Game Informer. One of my favorite games of all time, my favorite series of all time, is coming to Switch, but with a cool catch here, Ed. So, as we all know, Star Wars Celebrations was this past weekend. I enjoyed it immensely. I've been watching Obi-Wan, and I think that show is great. Started out a little slow, and I was like, kind of like, the first half hour of the first episode is real slow, and there's some editing choices that I'm like, what? Okay, but like the second half of the first episode and the second episode were great, so I'm like out of that. Whatever.
Did they say how many episodes for that?
It's 6.
For that? 6 episodes. Okay.
But what came out on the last day of Star Wars Celebration, Ed, is Aspire, or not the what last day was yesterday, right? Yesterday. Aspire, who's been porting all of the Star Wars games over to Switch and other consoles, as well as the team who's remaking Knights of the Old Republic, announced that they're bringing Knights of the Old Republic 2 to Nintendo Switch on June 8th, which is great. But the cool thing, Ed, the cool thing about this version is that, for those who don't know, this game was developed in 9 months because LucasArts wanted this game out the door to kind of play off the success of the first game. Obviously, BioWare had a lot of time. You know, I think they developed in like 2 or 3 years, which was a lot of time back then. They had just finished Jade Empire. Or, no, not Jade Empire. They had just finished something. I forget, because KOTOR came out before Jade Empire.
I thought did they? I thought it was the other way around.
No, let me see. I thought KOTOR came out before Jade Empire.
Right, because Jade Empire, it came out, it didn't get that much love, but it was okay. But then when Knights of the Old Republic came out, that's when BioWare was the kind of beginning of getting some love.
Jade Empire came out 2 years after KOTOR. Just to put up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both were Xbox exclusives, right?
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, if you have an Xbox One or an Xbox Series console, and you're looking for a really cool, unique RPG to play, the mechanics are a little dated, but the game is really cool. It's set around Chinese mythology. Jade Empire is such a cool game. I think everybody should at least check out. It's only like $5 or $10 on Xbox. But going back to Knights of the Old Republic 2, the cool thing is that this game was developed by Obsidian because BioWare, the team that did Knights of the Old Republic, moved on to Mass Effect. And they wanted a second game, and it was originally supposed to be a trilogy, I think. But due to this game being rushed out and Obsidian moving on to different projects, the third game never got made. But this game was rushed out in 9 months, and the last act of the game was never shipped. So when you kind of got to they kind of made it in a way to make it feel like it ended, but it really didn't, and you knew there was more story to wrap up. And the ending was just a big wall of text that you had to read that kind of explained what the end of the game was. And so a lot of fans were disappointed. And I actually really like this one better because you not only make your way to become a Jedi in this game, but you can also or Sith, right? Because obviously choice was like a big thing. But you also can take certain team members down paths and actually train them to become Jedi or Sith. So this is a really cool thing that Aspire has been developing the end of the game. And so this is going to have a whole new chapter of the game that has never been seen before. This version, and it's coming to Switch. So that's really, really cool. I can't wait to play it.
So I've never played Knights of the Old Republic 2. I know I didn't like the first one.
If you didn't like the first one, you're not going to like this one.
I think now that I understand BioWare and their mechanics, I think I could go back and give it a fair shake. Because I think that was the thing about it, is that I didn't understand BioWare's design in games until I played Mass Effect. And I was just like, I cannot just like, I didn't like them because of KOTOR and because I think their games was kind of designed PC-ish in a way, and not so console that I knew of. So I think with me standing with Mass Effect and playing some of their other games, I kind of got the philosophy in their design. So I'm definitely going to be playing this on Switch. I'm definitely going to buy this one because I never got to play it. And I think I'm going to go back and play the first one. And just get a bit, because I have the first one. I have the original one.
Yeah. I think if you're a Switch owner and you want to if you want to try this game out, I think that these games are worth playing. They're not very long. I think you can mainline the main story in about 15 hours. So it's not that long, although there's a lot of side quests and you actually get bonus stuff for doing the side quests, which is really cool. Plus there's like a Paragon Renegade system in this also, where you actually, if you choose one side or the other, you actually get really cool stuff to take with you into the end of the game, which is really cool. So like you get like a bonus. I think there's like it's a bonus armor set. So like if you choose the Jedi path, you get a really cool like Jedi costume, and if you choose the Sith path, I think there's a Sith costume that essentially does the same thing, but it's just a cooler version of the Sith costume. So
is the first one on Switch, KOTOR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've actually thought about playing it quite a few times, and now I want to play it now for when this game comes out.
I may just buy both. I know I'm going to buy 2 on Switch. I may just buy both of them on Switch.
Well, they're selling a bundle, the Knights of the Republic Legacy bundle, and you save $5 if you buy both the bundle. I think they're both $15, but the bundle is $25.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a really good deal.
Yeah. Aspire's been pricing these games really ridiculously cheap. I think all of the Star Wars games are between $10 and $15. I think the most expensive one was Jedi Academy, and it was $20, and it's because they added online multiplayer.
I wonder where did they get? I wonder if Lucasfilms or LucasArts had the code for these games and gave it to Aspire to make.
I mean, I'm sure someone does, right? Like everything Star Wars is so passionately archived at this point, right? So
yeah, I think I'm gonna jump in and get both of them.
Yeah, I've been on a really big Star Wars kick. I'm making my way through, I guess, not to jump early into playing with power, but I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's making me really excited for Ubisoft's open world Star Wars game. Because, I know it's not that team, I know it's the team that's making The Division, but man, it's going to be cool. Also, the team that's making the Avatar game, which I'm also, like, slightly interested in just because it's Massive making it, not because I'm an Avatar fan, because, let's be honest, who is?
We had that discussion.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's one or two of you out there that likes that show. Movie, whatever. But, yeah, anyways, sorry. Side tangent.
No,
So look out for Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, with a new extended ending. It's going to add quite a little bit of the game, so... Because I remember I beat that game in like 20 hours or so, and it was supposed to be like 25 to 30, I think. So that was my biggest gripe with that game was, at the time, was like it had a lot of really, really cool, unique ideas and a lot of things that like were really cool in theory, but like the game wasn't long enough to flesh out those ideas.
Right.
And then it turns out, obviously, the end of the game was never in the game. So
in the game. Wow.
Hopefully that'll actually make this. And I actually think this game might, even though like the story in the first game is one of the best stories in video games ever, I'd say. This game was probably better in a lot of ways with those ideas, and I think that this ending is going to make it better. So,
yeah. I haven't been on the Star Wars kick, but I am looking forward to both games, and I'm looking forward to play it too, because it's going to be a new experience for me, and hopefully the ending is good and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's worth a playthrough. I hope people give it a shot.
I think we should have a talk about it, maybe on the expansion pass.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have some ideas for expansion pass, and I want to see if you agree now that some things could be happening. So we'll talk about that after. But
okay,
let's move on to our next story, Ed. Our next story, Marvel Midnight Suns. New rating suggests it may release sooner than we expect. This comes from IGN. Marvel's Midnight Suns may be due to release soon following an official rating in South Korea. Remember, it was supposed to come out in February, and then they pushed it to the second half of 2022. As reported by Video Games Chronicle, Reddit user Long John Silver, that's a cool name, spotted a rating below which pegs the XCOM style game. IGN. It's not an XCOM style game. Sorry. They have been reporting on a lot of like weird information that's not correct lately. It's not an XCOM style game. The studio who's making it made XCOM. And I get that it's like a strategy game, but it's not an XCOM style strategy game. So games are usually only presented to ratings boards like ESRB and PEGI once they have complete or near complete state. An accurate assessment of suitability can be given, meaning Midnight Suns may almost be ready to be released. Let's see if there's anything else interesting in this announcement. It looks like this game could probably hit August. So this game, for those who don't know, it's a turn-based strategy game, but it also is a card building collectible. It's a collectible card system where you use cards to assign moves to different characters, and which is why I won't be playing it. But anything that involves cards, I'm just out.
Wasn't it the developers of League of... Was it League of... No, not League of Legends.
No, XCOM.
I think I'm thinking of a different developer.
You must be.
Yeah, because there was another Marvel game that was card based, and it was from the people who did that one card game for Blizzard, and they ended up leaving and forming their own studio.
I don't know. I don't really follow the card game scene, so I don't really know. I know there's popular. Well, they Marvel just announced a new card game, I think, right? I think something.
I'm thinking maybe the League of Legends was the card based game, right, from Blizzard.
I don't know. Anyways, this game is looking like it's going to be hitting probably later this summer, early fall, maybe. I know a lot of people are excited for it. I think the art style looks cool. I think the aesthetic looks cool. I think an XCOM style Marvel game would be cool, but I'm not doing the whole card system thing. And I know people have yelled at me before, oh, just because it has cards in it, you're not going to play it? Yeah, I'm not going to play it because it has cards in it. I've played enough card games to know that I don't like card systems. I don't need to buy everything just because it says Mario or Vol on it.
Right.
But it looks cool. I hope it does well. I think it's an interesting take on these characters, and yeah, I'm glad to see that it's gonna get a release date. I'm excited that it's coming to Switch. I'll tell you that.
Yes,
I think it's a perfect style game for a handheld system.
I do agree with you that having an August release would definitely be good, because right now we just don't have anything like set for August, and I think that would be a great time to, when people are going back to school or taking their last holiday or something. That'd be a good road trip game for people to play on Switch in August. So I agree with you that game could come out in August.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited to hear what people have to say about it.
Yes,
for sure. Why is this not?
It's not our cup of jam.
So yeah, we're gonna move on to our next story, Ed. This one is about Dragon Quest XII. A quick update on the next mainline entry. Dragon Quest.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. Yeah. This comes from our friends over at Nintendo Life, which I'm actually shocked that this game is coming to Switch. Especially, I mean, I know that Square and Nintendo have a long history of Dragon Quest being a Nintendo style franchise, mm-hmm. right? But like with PS5 and the way that Square is kind of working with PlayStation with Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and some of these other franchises for Spoken, like I'm actually shocked that they're going to try to make this work on Switch.
I have a theory, but go with the story and I'll explain.
Dragon Quest Day was held earlier this week, celebrating 36 years of the beloved JRPG franchise, and as part of this, series creator Yuji Horii shared a special message with fans. Apart from a new teaser from Dragon Quest Treasures, the creator also shared an update of the highly anticipated next entry in the mainline series, Dragon Quest XII's The Flames of Fate. Apparently, the team is still working hard to build the new game. Fortunately, there will be plenty of other Dragon Quest games before then. Oh, gross. Plenty of games before then. That means this game is never coming out. I'm just kidding. It'll be out in a couple years, I'm sure. Which will hopefully make the wait slightly less painful. Here's exactly what he had to say via Gematsu. We're working hard on building Dragon Quest XII, but there will be plenty more Dragon Quest to tide you over until it's finished. Thank you all for supporting the Dragon Quest series for 36 years. From me, Yuji Horii. No release dates or platforms have been revealed for Dragon Quest XII just yet, but we do know the game will run on Unreal Engine 5. Let's see. It's Japanese studio Hexadrive, known for its involvement in Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, and fellow Japanese company Orca, previously known for games like Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, will also be assisting Square Enix with development. So, yeah, I mean, there's a mobile version of Dragon Quest Builders coming. Apparently, Dragon Quest X Offline is coming at some point soon. I wonder, I mean, I think if Hexadrive and Orca are involved, this game will make its way to Switch somehow. Just because they're so heavily involved in bringing these games to Nintendo platforms. But, Ed, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this non-update?
Well, so let me get to my theory. So people don't know that when Dragon Quest 11 came out, in Japan, they did it for PlayStation 4 and 3DS. And when they did, I believe 3DS, yeah, they did it for 3DS and for PlayStation 4. And they had where you could switch those modes. Of you doing like the top-down 2D sprite and then just the game itself. And so they kind of it was kind of a big thing in Japan before it came here. So they did do PlayStation 4 and one for Nintendo for Dragon Quest 11 that came out at the same time in Japan. America just got it differently because they only did it for PS4. Later on down the line after they got done with the localization, and we didn't get the 3DS version because we got the Nintendo Switch version. So that's how we got the definitive along with the Xbox version. So with this one, I feel like it's going to be mostly in Japan first that they're going to do PlayStation 5 and Switch. It's a possibility they may do Xbox, but we don't know yet. I think when it comes to America, though, I think PlayStation 5 is going to get it first, and then Nintendo would get it later on down the line. Because right at this point in time, we don't know how Switch is going to handle Unreal Engine 5 just yet. There haven't been any games.
But we do know how it handles Unreal Engine 5. Fortnite is running on Unreal Engine 5.
Did they already switch it for Switch?
They switched it they switched it before the beginning of the year. Like, Fortnite was the first game that was utilizing Unreal Engine 5 across all platforms. Obviously it's going to because it's Epic, but that was the whole kind of thing.
Well, I didn't know they had switched to Unreal Engine 5 because it was the game was working on a different engine. So I don't know
it's really, I guess it's really simple to move your game from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. Like, it's ridiculously easy in terms of development standards of moving engines. And I think
we haven't had a game build up from Unreal Engine 5 for Switch.
No, but I mean, we know of plenty of games that are running on Unreal Engine 5 at this point now, right? Like the next Tomb Raider, right? Whatever the next Coalition game is from Xbox. There's a lot. And so Hellblade, and Exile, pretty much if you think of an Xbox first party studio, it's like a 90% chance that they're working on Unreal Engine. So
yeah. But I think for a Switch, there hasn't, like I said, we don't know yet. Yes, for night because that was a transition. I don't know if there was anything built up from Unreal Engine 5 yet. I think Dragon Quest 12 probably will be the first one at this point in time. Until we see like other indie games and other third party or port companies start using it to build games up from that.
Yeah.
Or anything. But I just think that PlayStation 5 is going to get it first, and then later on down the line, we'll see it for Switch. The Switch version.
Well, that's if Square doesn't sell to someone.
I do literally that when we recorded that episode on Expansion Pass, and then because we recorded before they sold to Embracer, right? I think.
Who?
No.
We recorded that episode the week they made the sale. That was our episode. They made the sale. We recorded that week.
So when you was talking about selling to Sony, everybody felt like that was a rumor or something that's going to happen because people started talking about it. I'm just like, me and Corey, like literally the next day after we did that of a regular recording, it looks like everybody was talking about that Square selling to Sony.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes the most sense at this point. Like, not that I want Square's games going. I would like to see them go multi-platform, but like it makes the most sense at this point. If they're gonna sell to somebody, it's gonna be them.
But it's so weird if they do that. But for Dragon Quest, it's such a big property for Square, and they know that a lot of people who grew up with that series know that it's been a Nintendo regular, definitely in Japan. Literally, pretty much after Dragon Quest 8 here in America, that's when it started kind of picking up, getting popular. Because people started getting the games on 3DS when they re-released them. And Dragon Quest Nine was a 3DS game, which I'm surprised they haven't ported that yet to Switch, if they ever thought about it. Because that game even sold well for Nintendo and for Square. So I wonder if with Dragon Quest 12, we just probably will see it later on down the line. We'll definitely see it in a Nintendo Direct, because when they showed it on Dragon Quest 10, not 10, 11 on the Nintendo Direct, people were just like, "Yeah, we're getting this game."
Yeah.
I think what was that the month that it was like a pack year? Was that 2019?
Oh,
I think it
geez, I
was.
don't
It
know.
was that pack. It was that September that was packed.
Yeah.
So I think we will see it for Switch. I think we'll just see it later on down the line. I think maybe close to the, if they don't bring it to Switch, I think they're going to bring it to their next system. After they get done for the localization and everything, I think they're going to bring that to Switch's next system, or Nintendo's next system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, because what would they need with Unreal Engine 5? I wonder, because it's very a cel shaded animated kind of game. So unless they're going for a different graphic style,
Well, they said that.
that's the
I mean,
thing.
I think that's the beauty of Unreal, is that it can kind of handle anything you throw at it.
Hmm.
I know they said they're going to take like a darker tone to this, but I bet it still has like some sort of anime art style, right? I mean, that's its kind of signature look. So, but you can do dark in anime, right? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, not that it's really an anime, but look at Castlevania, right? It has that art
Hmm.
style on Netflix, and it's dark, you know.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. I think Dragon Quest has a pretty long way to go, and I guess we'll talk more about it when we find out more.
Uh, uh,
What?
oh no, I was just going to ask you,
Nope.
can you see Fire Emblem running on Unreal Engine 5 if Nintendo got their hands on it?
I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I have thoughts about the next Fire Emblem, but we'll talk about that later. Our last story here, and report is that EA almost merged with NBC Universal before the deal with Comcast dissolved. This comes from Game Informer. Mergers, acquisitions, and consolidation are all the rage with major conglomerates these days. Microsoft is in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard. Discovery and Time Warner have recently finished merging into a mega media empire, and Sony is bringing Bungie into the PlayStation family. What we didn't know about is the now failed bid for NBC Universal to strengthen its hand by folding Electronic Arts into its corporate umbrella. Then it kind of goes on to say, like, what happened to the deal. I'm not going to get into all that. But I do want to pose the question to you, Ed. How interesting or not interesting would it be if EA merged with NBC Universal? Because Universal owns a lot of IP that could be turned into cash cow video games.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think everybody will be puzzled, because I think everybody probably would be like, what would Universal need with EA, and why would EA need to sell if they're a company that made all this money in the past? Like, why would they need to be bought out?
Well, one of the things that I thought of, for at least for Madden and FIFA or whatever they're going to be named in the future, or their golf game, is that NBC has a huge sports group, right?
Mm-hmm.
NBC Sports is huge, and they wouldn't have to pay the ESPN license to Disney anymore. They wouldn't have to, like, I mean, they would still pay these broadcasters, but it would be under like their NBC contract instead of a game development contract. They could do they could use NBC's kind of sponsor pool to throw into these games. Like, this game was brought to you by Speed Stick or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they could definitely utilize a lot of that, especially in their sports games. So they could do a lot with that merger, and obviously they own NBC Universal owns like Illumination and DreamWorks, which are pretty, I would say, they're kid-friendly animated studios, right? Like Illumination's making the Mario movie, and DreamWorks is like Shrek and Madagascar and whatever else, So I mean, there's a lot they could do. There's a lot of IP they could handle. There's a lot of sports style things they could have handled. There's a lot there that would have probably benefited them. Plus, NBC could kind of put their name in the ring for game development, although I don't know if this is really the time to do that. Somebody tweeted out, "Oh man, we'd missed out on our Real Housewives walking simulator or whatever," or like the Telltale version of Real Housewives.
Real Housewives. Yeah, I think people would. I think EA would have become like the laughing stock. Of course they would. I think they would make games out of their action and drama TV shows. They could make games out of there. But outside of that, like, I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, what would they do? Because I'm like, you guys are a big company still here in America. You guys they're still important to a lot of consumers. So partnering up with NBC, I would just been confused on like, what are you going to offer? Like, is Battlefield? Are you guys going to switch ideas now that Battlefield now becomes a TV series and they kind of coincide with each other? Like, here go the TV series and then here go the game, or here go the movie version of Battlefield. Like, I don't know. I kind of would just laugh at this, because I'm like, this is the most insane thing if this ever happened. Like, what are you guys going to come out of it? Of course, you can't do like surprise mechanics if they want to call it that. Like, they wouldn't be able to do all of that nonsense of DLC and gotcha mechanics and stuff. I literally would have been puzzled on how this would have been, how this would work.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I think the benefit I think the benefit definitely would not really, I mean, unless you're talking about their sports titles, I don't really think there's a benefit on either side, right? This is the rumor that why Warner Brothers is getting out of gaming and trying to sell off their studios, right? Is because it's costing them too much money. And I think they're looking at what Disney is doing with their IP, right? Like licensing it out to studios who know how to make games. And say what you will about Marvel taking over, too many Marvel games, too many Star Wars games, but like, if you're a game developer, that's like, I think unless you're like Naughty Dog or Nintendo or something like to that nature, right? Just one of these developers where people think that you're top tier.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants to work on a superhero game or a Star Wars game or something like an IP that they love growing up with, right? And so I think Warner Brothers is looking at Disney thinking that, they're doing a stellar job for the most part, licensing out these IP, and making great games like Guardians of the Galaxy, great. Spider-Man, great. Jedi Fallen Order, great. Battlefront 2, besides EA's kind of microtransaction tactics game, is a solid game. It's a great game. It's just all the paywall crap kind of hurt them, but
yeah,
still a great game. Squadrons was great. So I think their only kind of real miss was the Avengers, in my opinion. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, pretty good. So yeah, I think that they would have made a mistake by merging, because I think a lot of these big companies are getting out of gaming and licensing to people who know how to make games instead of running their studios themselves. So,
but it's weird with Warner Brothers because I'm like, okay, you guys got DC. Is the problem that you only can make Batman games?
I think the problem is that I think the amount of money that they would like to make versus the amount of money it costs to run these studios. Because you think about it, like Gotham Knights has been in development for 7 years. Harry Potter's been in development for 5 years. Suicide Squad, by the time it comes out, will have been in development for 8 years. That's a lot of time to not make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and by the time that Wonder Woman game that was announced from the Lord of the Rings studio, I forget what, WB Montreal. No, that's not it. WB Monolith. Like different Monolith than Xenoblade. By the way, there's two studios. Like by the time that comes out, it will have been 6 or 7 years since their last game. I mean, you think about that, that's a lot of time to invest on the property and not make any money while you're running these studios, right? So, of course, if you license them out, you're still going to have to fund the project, but you're not paying the company overhead, you're not paying the insurance, you're not paying the equipment, like, you know what I mean? You're just not paying all that. That's up to the studio to do that, or PlayStation or Xbox or whoever's managing these studios. So I think they really dodged a bullet here. Not that I think EA is a bad company. I actually think the way they've kind of turned the company around is pretty spectacular, from going to, voted the worst company in America, which I still don't think that they were that. They just were not doing very consumer friendly things. To now, you get these little kind of indie style games, you get single player action games, right? We're getting the Dead Space remake, we're getting Skate 4, we're getting Jedi Fallen Order 2, and then you still have your cash cows like Madden and EA Sports Football Club instead of FIFA next year.
But I think for some people with EA, I think they felt like when it was voted worst company in America, I think it's because people felt like they were greedy. That's really with the DLC.
That's the
and the quality of their games were, for some people, were like really poor. They built up, they built and they marketed these games up, and then when they actually got released, people weren't enjoying them because it was just like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at Anthem, you look at Mass Effect Andromeda, you look at people begging EA to fix Madden's franchise mode forever. Like, there's a lot of complaints that they've had to address, and rightfully so, right? The last Dragon Age was like, some people liked it, some people didn't, and we saw them kind of admit that they've changed. Because the next Dragon Age was supposed to be a game as a service. The next Dragon Age was supposed to be a MMO light style game like Anthem or Destiny, and they switched gears. They said, nope, we're switching it back to a single player experience, so we're going to be taking longer. And I think those types of decisions are what's going to kind of benefit them in the long run. So,
yeah.
But Ed, that's the last news story I have. So back to you.
All right, everybody. We're into doc mode, and just be ready for this discussion. On Tuesday, May 24th, there was a mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, at Robb Elementary, where 19 students and 2 teachers were shot and killed. As things are still under investigation and mature video games have once again been blamed, it seems that reasoning isn't working with parents and others outside of gaming. That possible motive has fallen on deaf ears. Before we get into the discussion, please check out our editor-in-chief, David Lasby's latest editorial titled "Stop Blaming Video Games for Mass Shootings." It truly is worth the read on BossRush Network, on BossRush.net. For this document, we're going to talk about why politicians, police, and others use gangs as an excuse or conclusion, and if the real situation for mass shootings will ever be fixed. Why gangs like Columbine RPG and others that deal with mass shootings are hard to accept. If this is too hard to listen to, please Elite Block agents, skip to what we're playing or check out our latest Nintendo expansion pass about Switch's future and standard definition about the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Here we go. So, um, yeah, David put out a really great editorial for Stop Blaming Video Games for Mass Shootings. And it's it's kind of definitely with you, Corey, being a parent, and your daughter going to school. Me, I don't have kids, but as a black person in kind of an urban neighborhood, and that still deals with some shootings in different places. Um, we definitely in the black community, and I'm just gonna address it from my perspective. We don't have mass shootings. I haven't um seen.
Buffalo was definitely a race-related mass shooting.
Oh yes, true, but I think the mass shooting as in like there's a black person scooting up a majority black school. Um, we haven't had, and we in a lot of the black schools, they put up so many security measures like metal detectors, guards, the guards would they have that metal scanner. It was checking every day, checking our book bags, like because they believed that we were going to be infested with a lot of gangs. So there was a fear that there would be a lot of gang shootings at school in the black community. And ever since Columbine happened, uh, there's been a lot of kind of those kind of mass shootings at different I'll say suburban schools in different places. Um, and it was it's kind of weird definitely now seeing it, and it saddens me that this happened. We don't understand why it happened. I think we're still trying to figure it out and stuff, but we had a perceived outlook on our black schools. Definitely here in North Chicago, which even in Chicago, there was just a perceived that if it was going to be a mass shooting, it was going to be gang related and stuff. And video games wouldn't have been blamed for any of that. It would have been blamed on gangs and the black community and drugs and all of this and everything. But to see that, to see that politicians and police just jump automatically to, well, because he was the age of 18 or he was in his teenage years, video games were the reason why or helped them prepare to do the shooting. And I just don't understand that logic and everything. I don't know why mature video games get blamed for it.
I mean, there's a lot of things to look at here. I don't like this. First of all, this whole thing, like, every time I hear about one of these things, it's like super gut wrenching, and I don't want to think about it. And all of the school is supposed to be a safe place for kids, right?
Yes,
it's supposed to be a safe place where you go and learn and be with friends and people that you trust to show your kids how to kind of live life and live how we're go on to get a job or whatever. And it's like the fact that this keeps happening, and this is the only country where it keeps happening, is appalling. And there's a gun bill sitting in the Senate. It has been for 2 years. There's 2 Democrats that won't sign it, and a huge majority of the Republicans that won't sign it because most of them are backed by the NRA. Most of them are backed by these, that having guns benefits them somehow, right? And there's a lot of selfish people who just don't want to relinquish their power in government and are willing to sacrifice these kids, right? These kids. Kids, man. Kids. In order to keep power. And I don't really like to get super political on these shows. And, you know, there's a lot of people that we work with and are on staff that believe in different things and, you know, whatever. And we respect that the best that we can. And I think that's what kind of gives us a different voice as opposed to other outlets. But, like, there's a point where you have to look at the grand scheme of things, and it doesn't become about which side of the line you're on, which party you belong to. Guns are... I'm not on the side of banning guns, but the fact that, like, it's easier to buy a gun than it is to drive a car, get a passport, you know, there's probably a laundry list of things that you could get that are harder to get than a weapon, right? This kid in Uvalde, Texas was 18. He purchased 2 AR-15s, right? Straight up. No background check, no anything. And he shot his grandmother, and then he drove to this elementary school and killed 21 people. And that, to me, is... There's something wrong with this picture. And, yeah, okay, I understand that they kind of pointed out that he played these cyber games and group gaming and stuff, and that came up too. And some of that became a memeable moment, which... on one hand is kind of like, I don't know if you should be really doing that at this moment.
Yeah.
This, and like, I didn't really see it because like, I've been reading about this thing and talking about this thing for almost a week and a half at this point. And, I didn't really see a lot of people pointing to video games as his motive. I think a lot of people are just looking for answers, and right now I think it's just, why didn't the cops respond as quickly as they could? Why weren't they in the building? Why was he barricaded in a room for 60 minutes before anybody responded? These kinds of things. But to that point, like, video games do come up a lot in these conversations. It's already been proven that video games psychologically don't cause violence in kids. Like, maybe a little bit aggressive here or whatever, but like, it doesn't cause violence. And it's just,
well,
I get that people are looking for answers, and this, like, a lot of games that people think about, like Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Destiny, Halo, you're shooting people. Like, that's the whole point of these games, is that you're shooting people, you're murdering people to gain an objective. And I see where non-gamers look at that and say that could possibly be a cause, but like, I think you have to look at the person himself, right? He was poor, not in a great neighborhood, being raised by his grandma, right? So clearly, from what I have seen, there's no parents in the picture, and kind of not a great area, like a poor area of Texas, right? Where I'm, from what I hear about Texas, is like, not, he probably wasn't treated very well in the grand scheme of things because he was Hispanic, and this was a Hispanic area, right? Mm-hmm. I think you have to look at stuff like that first. Yeah, okay, he was bullied at school, but like, I was bullied in school, you know? I think a lot of us were. And if you're if he was bullied at school, why did he go to an elementary school and not his high school or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things you have to point at before you say, oh, he played video games, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. This whole thing, I like personally really sick of talking about this, tired of talking about this, but like, I just think as a group, we have to do better. There's a lot of things we need to discuss. Like, that whole, like, my daughter's last week of school was last week, and I, like, was holding my breath that, like, I wouldn't get, like, a phone call from someone saying, you know, and I shouldn't have to be afraid to send my kids to school. You know, they should be able to go and be safe, and us pick them up, and they're glad to be home. And it's just been
a whirlwind.
You know, as my daughter gets over, these are the things that I'm gonna have to start like really thinking about, and it's something that we shouldn't have to think about. We didn't have to think about this stuff when at least, like, you know, I know maybe for you it might have been different, but like this stuff didn't even cross my mind. Columbine was like a one and done thing when I was younger, right? Like, and I think it has to do with this whole. I think the internet does a lot of great things, right? It keeps us connected with people. It allows us to find people who have the same interests as us. Like, I mean, we would have never been friends without the internet, right? Like, it
Right.
helps us find things, and it provides a lot of information, and it's a great tool and a great asset. But like, I think a lot of it is the black and whiteness of social media, and the black and whiteness of separating just I think that there's a lot of build up and anxiety, and especially over the last 5 or 6 years, right? Like, I really think that when, again, not to be super political on this show, but like, I think when during the Obama administration, I feel like as a country, whether you liked Obama or not, I feel like as a country, we were in a good place in terms of how we felt about diversity and, you know, different groups of people kind of working together and being a better kind of country. And with the rise of social media and the way that the Trump administration kind of just eliminated everything that we felt was good, and a lot of people, I mean, a lot of non-white people were scared, right? Like, it just became this ever divisive thing. And I think that made things a lot worse, and why a lot of this stuff is worse now than it has been in a long time. Because he was so polarizing, and it brought a lot of people to the forefront that maybe kind of kept quiet during the previous administration, and were now not afraid to show who they really were
Their
during
true
this
colors.
past administration. And I think the January 6th attack on the Capitol was one thing that truly showed how truly divided this country is, and how black and white everything has to be. And I don't think it has to be that way, but I think people are still kind of, I don't want to say it. I feel like people are still recovering from that, and what is okay and what isn't. And, you know, just an amalgamation of things. People are still kind of, okay, it's been slow to get back to what was before the Trump administration. And, you know, it's just, I have a lot to I have a lot to say, and I know I'm kind of rambling now. Ed, just say something so I can just stop talking now. But I'm just sorry.
There we go.
Before you go, I just have one. I just like. I get that in this world that we're living in today, like I'm awfully privileged to come from, in just from a visual standpoint as a straight white male who came from a family who was never really hurting for money and was never really, hurting for a lot of things, and went to a pretty decent school. And I realize that I'm kind of in a privileged position, but with this privileged position that people seem to think that I have because of what I look like and who I am as a person, it's my duty to make sure everyone around me is built up to have the same privilege and the same voice and the same platform to use their voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to look at you and Laurent and Stephanie and Celeste the same way that they look at people like me and Dan and David and so on, and I know this shooting wasn't like a like a race thing, but a lot of the shootings have been, right? The Buffalo one was a race thing. The recent one that happened yesterday in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm pretty sure it hasn't come out, but I'm pretty sure it was a group of white people and a group of black people opening fire on each other, where 7 people have been injured. No deaths, thank God, but
But the age out there were ranging from 13 to 16 for that one.
Yeah, and so with this platform that we've built, it's my duty to raise the voices of others so that their voices are overpowering to the point where it will always hopefully feel like everybody has equal voice, equal footing here.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't want to share that work here or podcast here or write here, if you don't feel like everyone is equal, and I'm saying everyone, even if somebody believes something different, if you at least don't respect the differences and believe everybody should have the same voice, I don't really think you belong here. So it's I don't know. This last week has been really stressful. I wasn't even involved in this. I can't imagine what these families are going through, and I don't know what would happen if we were involved in something like this.
Well, the thing about it. So you mentioned how it was easier. I was trying to figure out what is the price of an AK-47. How do people get the money to even get or even have the credit cards or anything? Now, before you don't have to answer that right now, Corey. It boggles my mind, because if you go to any store, if you are not 17 and up with a driver's license or a state ID, you cannot buy it in Reddit game. And that's not law. That literally is store policy. There are stores who have a policy that regardless of what your age is, you have to show a driver's license to buy this game, and they have to scan your ID. We did it at Toys. They do it at Best Buy. They do it at Target. It literally says that we need your driver's license so we can see it, so we can scan it to our system. So you have to do something to even buy an Reddit game. Mm-hmm. If that seems trying than buying a gun, that should bring questions. Because I think politicians and police and people who are using that who are non-gamers, who are adults, trying to provide an answer or something to why this is happening, they probably don't know anything about that. They just end up making that reasoning and stuff. And so, like, I can honestly say, I didn't know this shooting had happened until I checked Twitter while I was at work, because I was on my way to work. I would thought there would be some breaking news. I would listen to the radio, the radio stations talk about it. Nothing. I didn't know anything about this until Twitter, and they were still doing the investigation. And so when the police chief came out and was giving his reasoning and everything, people were not buying it. People were literally upset with the police. People were upset with
because the recent knock on police is that they're out. I mean, I guess it's not so recent. It's just become more apparent to me over the last few years, like probably since the who's the guy that died with the guy Floyd? What's his name?
George Floyd.
George Floyd. Thank you. Like, since then, it really just feels like, and maybe you have a different experience, but it just seems like the police are out to try to cover their own ass. Sorry for cursing on the show, but like, it just feels like they're out to protect themselves, and the politicians are out to protect themselves instead of like sucking it up, taking the hit, taking the blame once in a while, and saying, we messed up. And, you know, that, I know that doesn't seem like it goes a long way, but when you accept responsibility for something, it goes a long way in healing these people who have suffered these tragedies.
Yeah, I think what makes a lot of people upset when mass shootings happen and gangs get blamed, or people are trying to find the blame, is the disconnect. That one thing does not equal the reasoning or why this happened. Because, and everybody could check, I did an editorial called Silence on Adult Violence. That when mass shootings happen when the shooter is an adult or anything, nothing about video games get reported. When mosques get shot up, when a mall gets shot up, with that concert that happened, that country concert that happened, and that grown man was shooting from that building, like, none of that stuff has happened with anything with video games. It always happens when someone who is younger saying that they're the ones that they play video games, and that's not true. Or it's not understandable. It's kind of weird. It's just kind of weird that they would jump to that conclusion instead of just being upfront to be like, hey, we are investigating why this happened. We do not have any answers. We are trying to find answers. At this point in time, we are mourning for the families who lost a child to this, or who lost somebody who was shot and died from it. It's just being upfront and everything. Just saying what you don't know. You're trying to piece stuff together, and then when you feel like you got enough information, then present it to the people. Regardless if you're a politician or a police, because mass shootings are still going to happen. There's nothing hindering anyone from getting a gun and committing that kind of crime. You don't even have to play video games or anything. If it's easier to obtain one, people will obtain one and go out and, take out their frustration, bring out their beliefs and feel like they obtained something and everything. And it's just that disconnect that people, I think, sometimes just don't get. So that's why I put the question of Columbine in here, Columbine RPG, because the game is an indie game that was developed, I think, a year after Columbine happened. I have an optional opinion on it. And, people found the game disgusting because she played as the killers. and you killing the students were just like done in an RPG style where you gain experience and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was for an indie contest and everything. And they were just the developers saying we just want to get people in the mindset of being these killers.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to bring an idea or saying that we're rooting for them, but this is probably what happened. This is probably what the feeling, and then they create an ending and all of that stuff because they end up killing themselves, and then this is how the game goes for the other part and stuff. Even the game called Hatred, where you are a man who goes out and commit these crimes such as shooting people, whether it's police, innocents, whatever.
Right.
It got this AO rating and everything, and people look at it because I think it is not accepted in today's gaming society or community because it's too real. It's too for some people it's a reminder of that incident. Of people who experienced and went through Columbine and survived, they find Columbine RPG disgusting.
Yeah.
People who have
I mean, I think it's pretty disgusting anyway, but at the same time, like, what are the developers' intentions, right? Like, if you like just, yes, Columbine was a terrible tragedy. It was awful.
Mm-hmm.
What's the intention of the developer? Is it to show people what the killers were thinking? Is it like a not that I'm comparing these two games, but like, I mean, you look at a game like Hellblade and you're meant to be experiencing psychosis with Senua, right?
Yeah.
Like, is Columbine RPG taking that approach and looking at it and say, oh, well, we're trying to kind of figure out why they would have done this? What was their mental health state? What was their mental, what was their mental capacity? Were they just psychopaths? Like, or was it to kind of, was it ill-intended in being like, oh, we're making fun of this because we're jerks? And judging by when the game was made, and I'm pretty sure when this game came out, and I think it was pretty ill-intended, and it was removed from Steam, and I don't think it ever got like a proper release on any other storefront. Like, that's just a terrible thing to look at. And that was, what, 20 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's video games. I'd never want to tell, like, because there's another controversial video game coming out either at the end of this year or next year. 6 Days in Fallujah, which was originally a Konami game, and it kind of explored the war from the Iraq War, I think, and it was canceled even though it was finished. And what was it? Highwire? Is that who picked it up? Highwire.
I think so, yeah.
Is working on it, and that game is for some reason controversial, and that's something you need to look at and be like, well, I think they're doing it the right way, where they're looking at it from the survivors of that and exploring what happened, what really happened, what went wrong. Because I think the big thing with that was what was it, the white phosphorus as a weapon and killing innocent people. And I think the real story, don't get me wrong, I haven't done the research yet, but I don't think the real story ever came out.
No.
So forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but what they're doing is kind of exploring how these soldiers had to explore these unknown environments and deal with the war and deal with the ramifications of the war. And there's interviews, and there's clips of soldiers who were really there, and they're exploring both sides of the story, not just one. And to me, that's really interesting. I just to kind of put a bow on it, because I really do want to talk about something way more positive than this. I I understand why from an outsider's perspective, you look at the games we play and the ones that are popular, uh, and say, "Wow, how are kids allowed to like play these games?" You know, but like I think people who understand games also, and from like storytelling perspectives, and like there's such a variety of games, and it's such a good place to tell stories and learn things, you know, and all kinds of things that like I don't know. It's just it hurts to see something that we all love so much, right? We all
Mm-hmm.
love this hobby so much, and it hurts to see it attached to so many bad things when people don't fully understand the hobby. Uh, but it's like anything else, things you don't understand, especially in the world today. If you don't understand it, or you know, you don't have an opinion on it, it becomes a bad thing instantly. And that's what I was talking about earlier of the whole it's a black or white situation and there's never any gray area. And I think that there's a lot of room for gray area discussions, and I think it's sad that we don't have them. Anyways, I'll stop talking so we can kind of move on. I don't want to let it, I like, you know what I mean? I just,
What
now
I
I'm
think.
rambling because like now I just like I'm in the space now where I feel like there's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to get into all these issues here because this is Nintendo Pow Block is not the place to have these discussions. I think something
Well,
like After Dark is the place to have
yes.
some of these
I,
discussions.
I think the thing, and the reason why I presented to Nintendo Pop Block, I think is because definitely with me, you kind of being like founders of Boss Rush and being for Nintendo Pop Block. I think when it comes to video games, that when one part of video games get blamed, a lot of stuff starts to trickle out to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it may happen to Microsoft and Sony and even Nintendo games that the littlest thing that's violent may give a kid an idea or something, and then just different opinions and stuff might be get spewed and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this, like I said, yeah, it is hard to have these conversations. Yes, what does this have to do with Nintendo? It doesn't have to do much, but there could be some things in a Nintendo game that gets attached to this,
Mm-hmm.
even though that's not Nintendo's fault. They didn't intend it to be that way. They know what they want to create is fun, imaginative, creative worlds. But so does Microsoft and Sony. They want to do the same thing, and I think when you attack just a rating of games, mature games, that that just seems unfair. And then what ends up happening is that if we allow mature games to get attacked, any game could be get attacked. If a
Mm-hmm.
car accident happens, oh, I'm gonna blame Mario Kart for it. Why? Because it's Mario Kart. Even though that's an E-rated game, you're blaming a video
Mm-hmm.
game because of
Look,
someone's bad accident.
at the end of the day, right? Just so we can put a
Hmm.
bow on this, because we have been on this conversation a long time, but like just to put a bow on it, to me, right? The cars don't kill people, right? Well, I guess with self-driving cars that could be some sort
Oh,
of you know uh
yeah.
on one of the podcasts that I produce at work, we had a discussion, can you make a truly unbiased AI, and a lot of the discussion was around self-driving cars and developing AIs for certain things, and a lot of the conversations was around you know the AI is only as biased as the person who makes it. And it's one of those things where like, but not sorry, not to get on off topic, but at this moment, as of this recording, it's like the cars don't kill people, it's the people driving, right, and making the decisions that they're making. uh
Hmm.
i'm not I'm all for people having a weapon to defend themselves if they need to, right? like like if you want a handgun, that's properly stored and locked away to protect yourself if you have a break-in or something. Like, I am totally okay with that, but I'm also at the point where, like, I don't think you should be able to have a collection of assault weapons. Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need a collection of assault weapons, you know? And so, to me, I think the Second Amendment, although valid, needs revisited, because, like my wife and I were talking about after this terrible tragedy in Texas and Buffalo and now Tennessee, when this Second Amendment was written, these people who wrote the Constitution were stuffing their rifles with metal balls and stuffing them down pipes with Swiffers, right? Like, they weren't carrying around assault weapons or automatic weapons. They were carrying around rifles that you had to load manually and took quite a bit of time to load manually, to the point where a lot of them would still fight with swords because it was faster, right? So that's my opinion on it. I'm putting a bow on it. I want to talk about video games.
And we're gonna get to playing with power. My final say on this thing is that I know there's gonna be more conversations. We know that there's gonna be more events like this, and you know, depending on your age or wherever, any way that you could get involved, go ahead and get involved. And for parents who have kids who are going to school, like, I'm not saying that this is a wake up call or anything, but really, it really just, like, love your child even more, in a sense. Like, really, like, hug them, tell them that you love them. Like, really, really show them that you're someone that they can rely on. You know, I think one of the thing is that do your best to be there for them. And I know it's going to get a point where parents have to explain stuff like this, and you just gotta be a parent and really explain why these things happen and everything. And you know, maybe have lunch and pull out your Nintendo Switch and play Splatoon or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like,
you know, I know we have a lot of parents that listen to the show, and I'm sure a lot of them are just as sick to their stomach as a lot of us are. And I just want to say, you know, that there's nothing like, you know, when I was younger, like, I never thought about having kids, or like if I really wanted them or not. Like, it was a conversation I would have with girlfriends or whatever, but nothing like serious. And then when my daughter was born, like, I could never imagine my life without my kids in it now. And if something ever happened to them, like, it would, I don't know what I would do. Like, I really don't know what I would do. And that's what is just eating me up inside about this whole thing every time we hear about one of these.
Yeah. So everybody, that's gonna be it with Doc Mo. Let's get into playing with power. Corey, where have you been playing with power?
Man, now that I'm all whatever. All right, so playing with power, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I just wrapped the first storyline in the game.
Wow.
The family storyline I wrapped today. That was pretty cool. There's 2 more that I have to finish up. The cultist leaders. Are you trying
to beat the game?
I'm gonna try to get all the endings, and then I still have the Legacy of the First Blade stuff to play.
Okay.
And I still have the Atlantis stuff to play, which will probably add another 30 or 40 hours to my gameplay. I'm trying to, like, kind of mainline the game now at this point. And then do some side stuff if I need to level up or something. But I'm pretty leveled. I'm pretty far into it. So I think it's, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll be all right. but I do kind of want to explore more of the game because I'm having so much fun playing in this world. I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like one of my favorite games of all time at this point. And I've said that multiple times, but now that I'm like really back in it and playing it, it just feels so good to move around the world. It feels so good to just play. It knows it's a video game. Like, I can jump off one of the tallest cliffs and do a roll and not take any damage, right? Like, it knows you need to be somewhere. It knows the world is big and you need to get there as fast as possible. It's just so fun to play this game. I know some people prefer Valhalla or Origins over this, but I will take Assassin's Creed Odyssey over all of those. And I know a lot of people have their own various opinions on Assassin's Creed, but it's definitely one of my favorite series of all time. I love this series, and I can't wait to finish this game, although it'll probably take me another month or so to finish it up. Just all the DLC and stuff. I think I want to see Atlantis. I want to see where the story goes and all that. But which actually reminds me, like, I finished one of the storylines and it didn't kick me out to present day. I always forget there's a present day aspect to these games. But yeah, I love that game. If you have a PlayStation or an Xbox or PC, like, Odyssey is on sale all the time. The game is it's just so wonderful to play.
I need to switch it to my Series X.
Oh yeah,
I have it there.
Yeah, if you do have a Series S or X, it has an optimization patch for those platforms. So it runs at a full 60 frames a second at 4K. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love the jankiness of the of the NPCs too, because they're all like, first of all their voice acting is super over exaggerated, and like, as beautiful as the worlds are in Assassin's Creed, and the boats and the buildings and the structures and everything, and like the main character always looks great too. Like, I'm playing as Cassandra, but you can play either Cassandra or Alexios. And they look great, and like some of the main players in the game look great, right? Like some of the main NPCs look great, but like when you're doing a random side quest for a random NPC, man, they just look like trash. You know, and I know that's what happens when you have to kind of like auto generate thousands and thousands of people, right? The stuff just looks off, right?
It's like so funny that you mentioned that, because that's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
like the main character, like Jin Sakai, looks so good, and then you get to the NPC, like, what is this jaggy asset? The heck?
Yeah. I mean, the games I always go to are like the Final Fantasy games, right? Where like there's all these detail poured into the main characters and your party and stuff, and then you walk up to like the generic characters, and they look like they look like they're from a different game, man.
Yeah,
it's just like, and these aren't that bad, but it's still like, okay, I'm playing the Series X version of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. These characters look like they're from the Xbox 360 version of Assassin's Creed 2 or something, right? It's just so bad. So anyways, I've been neck deep into that. I've been neck deep in the new season of Destiny, Season of the Haunted. Nothing really to say there. I'm actually, this is kind of the first time in the season where I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like, I don't know. I don't really care for the event. I think the seasonal event is way too long. It is way too long. They brought the Leviathan back, which was the location of the first raid, and it's just now like a area that you can explore and do. Like, it's like basically like when you land on a planet, you can go do patrols or lost sectors or whatever. It's basically that now, which is okay, but I don't really care. Like, the main thing in the game is a public event instead of a menu where you go to and actually access the seasonal event. I think Iron Banner is coming back tomorrow, so that'll be fun. New armor and new kind of way to get gear and stuff, so that'll be fun. But this is the first time where I'm like, man, this is kind of underwhelming. especially with the trajectory Destiny has been on for such a long time at this point. But I'm still interested in the story. I want to see where the story goes, because they've got a good cadence of like releasing story stuff kind of weekly now. It's like a very nice episodic release. The new dungeon I haven't done yet, which hopefully I'll be able to do by next weekend. Very challenging, I hear. But the armor is cool. The whole theme is centered around like nightmares and the haunted, and the armor set that you get is like this Grim Reaper style set for the season. It's very cool, and I'm looking forward to doing more in there, but it just might not be my main game, as with Destiny usually happens to run out of steam by like, I would say like 2/3 of the way through the season, but it's already kind of like, I'm kind of over it this season. I don't like the I don't like the seasonal event at all. So unless we're doing a dungeon or I'm doing my weeklies to kind of finish out my season pass, like I don't know how much Destiny I'll be playing seriously this season.
You're not feeling this release?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Also, like I said, I'm starting my Ring Fit adventure tomorrow. But on Switch, I've been playing. I picked up Mario 3D World after taking a couple weeks off, and let me tell you, man, the world I was stuck on, I ran through that puppy and beat it first try. I have 2 more levels before I 100% it, get all the green stars and all of the stamps. 2 more levels. And then I'm going to play Bowser's Fury and see what I think of that. That's next on my list. I have a lot of Switch games on my list now that I kind of want to like mess with and see what my next game is. I thought for a while it was going to be Link's Awakening, because some people from work picked up Link's Awakening recently.
That's what I've been playing.
So maybe I'll do that. But also, there's a couple other things, like Astral Chain is something that it's been on my mind for some reason.
Yeah, say.
Bayonetta is on my Switch now. I mean, not now, but like I was like running through the games that I had downloaded, and I was like, I really gotta get back to these games and finish them, because I am terrible at finishing games, turns out.
Which is funny. So when you were talking about the Marvel story, Ultimate Alliance 3 started coming up, because someone on Twitter was just like, this game should have been on other consoles and stuff, and everybody was telling the person, and I think they were just doing it for clout, for attention. It was just like, Nintendo paid for this, so that's why it's exclusive. It won't be on or any other. And I got to thinking, I'm like, dang, I'm halfway through Ultimate Alliance, and I think it was just a boss that was beating me. I think I want to go back and finish that game.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really do a lot for me. I thought like the idea was cool, and but like the characters don't really level the way that you want them to, and like if you want to use a different character, you better be doing it Pokemon style, where you're like switching out your party all the time, and I just didn't want to do that, and so I don't know. I might revisit it someday, but today's not that day.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we could get like a cool Marvel game. I mean, we got Guardians, right? And like everybody likes Spider-Man, but like, man, I don't know.
There's so many other characters in the Marvel universe that deserve a game.
And I know we're getting Wolverine on PlayStation 5, which is exciting, except that I don't have a PlayStation 5.
I wonder if they're going to show that for State of Play. I forgot all about that Wolverine game.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that's... Let me... Hold on, Ed. I can just do this. Let me see. There's something else I was playing too, but now I kind of forget what it was. Edward Varnell.
Well, while you're looking, let me jump quickly into what I've been playing.
No.
Okay. So, Eiyuden Chronicles or Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, which also everybody were getting the games for Nintendo Switch. it took them long enough. I ended up beating that game, and it was good. There's more side quests than there is uh the main quest. There's like really only about 3 or 4 levels that you go and repeat over and over. A lot of the bosses that you encounter, you have to fight over. There's like 1 or 2 bosses that once you beat them, you don't have to revisit them or anything. Uh, it's not too hard or anything. Um, there's a lot of dialogue um that it's just so skippable that you just do not need it. Just like, oh my goodness, let me get through this so I could progress through the game and everything. um yeah, it's a good game. I say wait for a sale. I say if it gets like to $7 or $8, it's worth picking up.
Well, it's on Game
um
Pass if you have Xbox, I think, right?
yeah, yeah, but I think for people who were getting it, um like who decided who wanted to purchase the game and stuff. I think they were buying it for a lot of people were buying it for Switch. I don't know if anybody was playing it though. I think maybe 1 or 2 people have been playing it on Game Pass that we know of. But it's a fun game. It's not really like wow. I think it's something that you could get through in a weekend or half of the week and stuff. It's not too long of a game. There was I posted this on my Twitter page. There is a bug in the Switch game, and they may patch it up. It happens randomly, where instead of your character running in the middle of the screen, so it could move along with you, you would get close to the end of the screen, and that's when it starts moving. And so you could end up getting hit by enemies. So I had to leave some areas over and over. Sometimes I had to cut the game off and then restart it so I could just get past through it and everything. And yeah, it's an okay game. Tetris Effect, I'm enjoying that game, dude. I love that story mode. I love the music. Once again, just loving the music in it.
Yeah, I love that game. When I play it in handheld mode for some reason, I just can't focus on the pieces because there's so many things going on in the background. It almost hinders my enjoyment of the game. I mean, it doesn't, but like sometimes I'm like, man, I would just wish the pieces were like solid or just very various shades of like if you're in like a water world, like okay, well these are different shades of blue that you can see against this dark background of water instead of like because like some of the levels the pieces are see-through and you're like, man, I want to be able to see the pieces.
Yeah, I believe me, I hear you on that. Still more Graceful Explosion Machine, just having fun with that. Played a game called Freezer Pops. Now I'm not going to get into it. I will be talking about this game on our Pride panel next month. I am just going to say that it's questionable content and a lot of questionable content.
Is this the game you were telling me about earlier?
Yes. Yeah, just wait to our Pride panel if you want to hear more about that game. I will talk about that. For Xbox, speaking of, I'm getting ready to. I think I'm going to go through all 3 of the Tomb Raider games. I installed Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I got to install Rise and install the first Tomb Raider game because I kind of want to see beat them on Series X. Even though I've beaten them before, of course, on Xbox One. I kind of want to see the upgrades definitely for Shadow of the Tomb Raider on Series X. I want to play that all through the upgrades. I kind of just feel like we're running through the trilogy after we had that talk about Embracer and Crystal Dynamics. I'm like, man, I just want to go do these games because I'm excited for the next Tomb Raider. I cannot wait for that game. Like that's a day one purchase.
Yeah, I have been thinking about Rise of the Tomb Raider for a little bit as well, because that's remember I got all the way to the end and never finished it. So.
Oh wow! I thought you did.
No, I never finished it, and then I played Shadow, and I loved it. And then we did remember we were trying to do that book club thing. We played the first Tomb
Yeah.
Raider for that, and it's been on my mind for it's been on my mind for a little bit, and I just really want to play it again. I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to get some. Cause I installed Devil May Cry 5, but I might uninstall that. I don't think I need to play that or anything. I was in the mood for an extra style game, and I was gonna do DMC, but I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna take that off. Cause I need to put back on my. I found out that I took out Outriders, cause I think I was playing something else, and I think I'm gonna install Outriders and I install the Crisis trilogy on my Series X. I'm gonna get through that. But like for my next game for my Switch cartridge base, I think I'm gonna go, like I said, Ultimate Alliance 3. And then I think I'm gonna jump into Xenoblade because I need to get ready for that for July. And I'm gonna pop in Splatoon 2. I haven't played Splatoon 2. I haven't. I just haven't started up. So I need to do the upgrades and everything and just have fun with it. Oh, last but not least, I played Rival Turf. I played Rival Turf on the Super Nintendo. Thank God for Blockbuster having given you a Friday rental because that's how I played the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still not a good game. It's still so low tier. Nintendo Life gave it 4 out of 10. I was just like, that's about does it. Yeah. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. I'm looking forward to Fire Emblem Three Hopes and Mario Strikers. I'm definitely looking forward to and then Xenoblade 3 and then Splatoon 3. And hopefully we get our Nintendo Direct in June. When I think I have a feeling we're getting it after the Xbox One.
Yeah,
and I think
I think it's going to be that Tuesday, I bet.
Yeah, and because I don't know when they're going to announce it, but I'm just like, man, I would be upset if Nintendo on a Tuesday said, yeah, we're doing our Direct Thursday, while before or after Sony's. Be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, they very well could, but we'll see. I just I think they have a couple more things they need to show for this fall, and I know Nintendo's got a lot this fall already, and it's exciting, but I think they need that one kind of they need that other game to go with Pokemon, that it just needs to be there saying, hey,
yeah,
because I mean, don't get me wrong, Pokemon is a huge seller, and that's probably all they need. But there's some people that aren't that into Pokemon and want something else to look forward to this fall.
Yeah, like let's see what Metro Prime 4 does. Let's see Advance Wars, because I think those are the only two that we need to feel. And Mario Rabbids, we need that date and everything. And I think because the Ubisoft one may be before Nintendo's, I think we'll probably see it in their presentation, the release date. I would be surprised if it's not there because of Nintendo. That would be telling. Be like, okay, Nintendo's really serious about this game, so they want it in their Direct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we need something for August, October, and December. We need something just for final dates for games from Nintendo.
Yeah.
But with that, everybody, that's gonna be it for Nintendo Pow Block. You guys can find me on Twitter at that retro code, and on Instagram. You can check out Nintendo Expansion Pass on bossfish.net and our YouTube page, and you can get it earlier if you become a Patreon supporter. And also join us on our Discord. We would love to talk to you guys all about video games, snacks, board games, whatever you would love to talk about. We would love to have fun with you guys. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey and HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast as well as various other things here on the Boss Rush Network. I just want to say again, everybody, just make sure you appreciate the ones that you love, because you never know what's going to happen, and it's always good to be that way and show everybody that you care for them and you love them, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, with that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Goodbye.